Totally fine. All right, my input is working. I can see myself talking. And then I think your input was working.
Okay.
Yes, your input is working.
All right. I'm
Cool.
gonna make that stop.
Minimize that. Check on Twitch.
All
Okay,
right.
good. Good,
You
good,
see us on
great.
Twitch?
Twitch is a going. Alright, go
Yes.
to
Now I've
yeah.
muted Twitch, so I can't hear it.
That's fine. Cat, I know you just sat down on my lap, but I have to go close my door because people are making characters and they are talking in my house. Excuse me.
They do that.
Excuse me. Excuse me. She just went limp. Oh, hold on a sec. I'll be right back. There we go.
Immense number of projects I have brewing in the background.
Whoosh. And my Evie is now in my chair back there, saying hello to everybody. Okay. Get all combobulated. I think that's the word. Yeah.
Mobulated.
Well, discombobulated is when you are unorganized and out of it. So combobulated must be the opposite. I would assume. Yeah.
Hey, sure.
Okay, and actually, I'm gonna check real quick my Yeti settings to make sure they have not reset them. Okay. It says output is 100%, so I am trusting it.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, you can hear me.
I can hear you, and I can hear you on Twitch.
Alright. And I've just.
And I can hear myself on Twitch, so that's good.
Yeah, I've just upped your volume just a tiny bit more. Okay, there we go. We should.
Speak from the diaphragm.
Speak from the diaphragm. It'll be fine. We have a moment before we have to start, so that's good.
Okay.
I have. Stabby,
Stabby, stab, stabs.
Stabby, stab, stab. It makes a lovely sound. Like, for ASMR, it's a lovely sound. So I can just zone out and
Just do a yarn ASMR channel.
stab things into existence. I'm sure one exists. But if not, maybe I should get on that. Because it does make, the right type of yarn makes a nice scritchy sound. If you're into that, that's everybody reacts differently to sound. Some people absolutely despise ASMR. My husband being one of them. He's like, I can't stand it.
Just give you the tingles.
He doesn't like the tingles, especially if it's somebody, like a random person whispering at him. He's like, it's He does not like. But the fun thing that I've learned about this particular craft, and I don't even know if this is actually a thing you're supposed to do, but I can see like some of the holes left behind by the needle going in and out. So I just try and like soften them out with this tool. I don't even know if that's what this tool is for, because the kit that I ordered had no instructions on what size the needles were, uh, what these little bangles are for. I don't know what this is for. It's not
Sounds
sharp
like
enough to be another needle, so I just assume it's a thing to go and smooth out the roving.
it It reminds me of when I was very young and got a bunch of like art stuff from my grandmother who passed, and I'm like, I don't know what the vast majority of this is for. Like, there were
What do?
pastels, and there were like yarn things. One of them, like, I had no idea what this one thing was. Now I know it was that etching, carving, plug it in thing that I could use for cosplay, but I didn't know what it was, so I got rid of it.
Away it went.
Away it went, and now it's like $80 to get one. I'm like, F that.
Well, I mean, I have a Bernie tool if you want to try and use that, but you'd have to put it on the lowest temperature.
Yeah, I haven't touched cosplay stuff, and I probably should. I'm way too excited about bringing Abigail back.
We'll get into that.
I'd say you went to FOD, right?
No, not this weekend.
No, just Matt went. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I had plans, so we'll talk about that when we get to it.
That's fine.
Which, speaking of, I'll give a moment of silence, and then we can start. Hello, and welcome to episode 225 of Geek Girls. The Geek Girls podcast is supported primarily by our patrons. You can find us at patreon.com/grills. I'm Linda, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ray.
Hello.
Hello, Ray. And today's topic is Pi Day. It's what we are calling the Pi Day special, because it's going to be kind of random. But, you know, it'll be fun.
Who doesn't like talking about pie?
Pies, and the other pie...
All kinds of pies.
All kinds of pie.
Slang words for pies.
So, what have you been up to this week?
I have been working on my second attempt on a digital project for Scott that got eaten when I had to reinstall. I didn't save it. So that was fun, and I was actually getting in the groove, and then we had a power outage.
Oh no.
Luckily, I just saved, but I had like the freak out moment of like, oh god! And they're like, oh yeah, the power will be back in an hour. No. 2 hours? It's about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh god! So, the other thing we did is, like a month or so ago, we bought tickets to go see Fernbank After Dark to see the Nights exhibit with some friends. I swear, it said February 11th when I bought those tickets. But it was March 11th. Also a Friday. So I was like, Scott's like, I don't want to go back out. I only wanted to go because of our friends. So I'm like, fine. I'll go with Amy, and I will have a good time there. Because I don't remember going to Fernbank. So it was really cool. I do not remember it, so... proof that a 4-year-old doesn't remember. Me as a 4-year-old don't remember that. But it was lots of fun. It was really cool to see. They had like they call it the STEM lab, where it's like some of the stuff I remembered from Sidetrack. It was just the more interactive part, which made me very happy because it was just everybody had to be, you're 21 or older. So basically everybody there is an adult acting like a kid doing all these little science experiments. The normal exhibits were fun too, but because we're also all adults and we're able to go everywhere, we also went to the kid area, which is like this little playground with
of course
and fish, and it was not real fish, it was like projection of fish, and you stepped on the water and it made ripples and the fish swam away. Like that thing they used to have at the mall. And just like all sorts of stuff like that. But it was really fun to see just like a bunch of adults acting like little kids on this playground.
Yeah, we went to Fernbank a few years ago, and it was cold. I think it was in March as well, or it was February or March. And I forget what exhibit they had at that point. I don't think they were doing the After Dark yet. Or if they were, it was not one we went to. We went during the day. And I was just like, I remember some of this, but some of this I do not.
Yeah, the only place we didn't go was because it was dark and cold and raining. We didn't go to the garden.
Yeah.
Which we could have. But
we went to the outdoor trail. That was where I got that picture of me under that big hedge.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
That I
I wanted to, but it was just too wet.
yeah.
So but it was lots of fun. I do recommend, especially if you have like a couple of friends. You can have you can buy drinks and food there as well, but it's not required. Everybody had to show their ID and stuff. We also saw the Batman. We were supposed to see the Proto Men, but there was a misplacement with COVID card, so we could not get in to
Ah.
event to see Proto Men.
They
So
wouldn't even let you do a picture?
no, I'd have the actual
Mm.
ID, the actual card. That was misplaced at home by accident. So we ended up seeing the Batman instead, which was very good. It was better than I was expecting because I'm kind of grim dark Batmaned out, but
Yeah.
damn it, they had to give me the best version of Catwoman. Like honestly, this is Catwoman from the comics.
Good.
This is the best version, and I loved the crazy cat lady Michelle Pfeiffer, even though it is not the good. That is not how it is in the comics. You do not. She does not get brought back to life by little kitties nibbling at her with magic kitty powers. It is not a thing. But this was really, really good, and you could tell that like the people who wrote it really enjoyed the Batman Telltale game
Mm-hmm.
and like more of the noir stuff because it was just definitely more of like detective noir movie. But that one guy has a bat face. It's fine.
It's fine.
Also, because it's like year one Batman, so he's like Gordon's not the commissioner. Gordon's just a lieutenant, and he's kind of new at this being a Batman thing. He's kind of got this emo vibe going, and I'm here. I'm here for emo. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing except trying to get over my issues. So, baby.
Ah.
So I do recommend. It is very, very good and very, very fun. And then there was Gods last weekend because we have work. So Garden of Destinies, and I had the best flipping time, hands down. Uh, but I admit that is because I got to go in like 3 modules and didn't have to do because I was on these modules. I didn't have to do 3 field battles.
That is true.
Well, okay, the one of them wouldn't be a field battle anyway. It was the Friday night art heist, which was literally what it is. There's trap lines strewn everywhere with bells attached to them and little snap things, and you had to get to the piece of art, and we had like a 5 minute, we had 5 minute timer. So like Janet just kind of like charges in, contrivance or not contrivance because that's the wrong word. But takes it and gets the art while the rest of us are slowly making our way over and through and doing the whole like sneaking along the floor. Super fun. Do recommend. Uh, and there was fog lights and everything. It was great. It was super hard to see. Um, and then the next one was Saturday breaking into Battery City,
Mm-hmm.
which everybody else is on the field except for like the people on the infiltration side. So
But the people on the field were being human speed bumps.
yeah, basically the whole job was to keep the focus on the field and just endurance fight. And we knew that, so we were trying to do it as fast as possible because we knew like the longer we took, the longer it was for you guys. So we're trying to make our way through, and uh, there's the first section which is kind of like again with the lines and the trap and the snap pop things to kind of let you know you're setting off traps and causing trouble. I actually don't really break anything. I leave that to the other infiltrators, but we just have more of a getting around and figuring out the best way to get everybody else through. And precariously off to the left is of course like a handful of money. Then my character's like, no, everybody go, go, and I'm bringing up the rear, and I'm like, scoop.
Yoink.
What? No, I shared. I offered to share. They didn't want it later because of plot, but and then we got through that basically that room, go back outside, and we had a red light, green light with guards to try and make our way to the next module building to get inside this guy's chamber, office, probably the better term. And that was super fun too. Just the red light, green light. Oh god, stop! Run, stop! It's very Squid Games. Very much fun. And yeah, and then we find out, oh no, the guy who we thought was behind Battery City and causing all this trouble, he's been dead.
He's been dead the whole time.
Now we don't know who the heck is pulling the strings. That's a question for a new up-and-coming young person to look into and investigate. Not me. And then the other one was the one that you joined me on, where we got sucked into
weird knowledge soup room.
Chthonic
BS.
It was a puzzle. We got eaten, sucked into the second void, where we're split into two groups, and one group of us could see the puzzle, like how these shapes were supposed to be, and then we had to try and express that to the other group,
who could not see what they looked like.
Who could not see but had the shapes.
And every time it was wrong, we got zapped.
And every time we had to try and look at the picture again, we also got zapped. So, yeah.
Diabolic.
But eventually, we got it. Because that was another one of those, the longer you're here, the longer your friends are dying on the field.
So you were like, hurt!
Did you guys were over with Tevin, right? He was the one marshal on your side. Did he also update you with like, oh, Ren just died on the field? And
nope.
Oh, okay, because Rachel was.
Rachel
has given us all sorts of information about everybody we know and cared about dying on the field.
That's because Rachel had the walkie-talkie.
She did have the walkie-talkie. I figured she was also like building up the drama, like, hey guys, hey, do this faster.
Do this faster.
But it was super fun. There was also Saints and Sinners, which is basically an excuse for, it's LARP prom. Mm-hmm. Everybody dresses up pretty. And then we had an auction this time, which was super fun, because NPCs showed up and kind of also put some of us back in our place as far as thinking that we're rolling in money. Like, no, maybe some of us aren't rolling in as much money as we thought. It was still super fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also knowing out of play now that some of those items were not going to go to non-plot members makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why they wouldn't want just some random person to have that. But, yep, nope, had a blast. Put in my downtimes and feedback and all that, and cannot wait. How about you? What have you been up to?
I also went to God's Garden of Destinies. Got to play my lovely Dragon Fae. Pretty much, same setup as Ray, except that I had a terrible Arcadian tragedy happen. Like, not because of me, but like I had a hand in it by accident. It was gonna be tragic anyway, and then because I let Ren talk me into it, it got worse.
I'm still sad I didn't see it. I was busy getting ready, and then all I hear far is like Ren screaming. I'm like,
yeah, no. So Ren is supposed to get married, right? To the love of his life, and they come, and then like as they sang their vows, his love of his life keels over because he apparently made a deal with the author because Ren was supposed to die and he didn't want that. So Ren is now holding his, dead lover in his arms, and he's like, please help! And so we try to do a magic bullshit thing to get him to come back to life, and they do, but they're wrong. They've become unraveled, and then Ren has to kill him again. And I'm just like, I was like, oh, it was horrible. That was awful. And apparently I was having a lot more character bleed than I realized because I was very sad for a while and feeling very guilty. I found out later that Ren's player had explicitly asked for like a tragic kind of ending like that. So it was all above board, like he asked for it, but I didn't know that right at that second. So like both the character and the player are like super like sad and guilty, and I go onto my tavern shift and April has me start making dessert. I start baking and I'm like, "Oh, I feel better." Oh, I was so sad. Cuz apparently baking just cheers me right up. So like I'm a little sad that I missed the auction, but I'm kind of glad I did because I had a moment to kind of step back and reset and be like, okay, I'm all right now. It's okay. And then later, like before Ren left, because he's left and probably gonna come back as an unraveler, and I'm gonna have to set him on fire. But before he left, he was like, there's nothing to forgive. I asked you to do it. It's not your fault. And I was like, okay. Ooh. And then he left a very ominous note the next morning, and I'm just like, this is gonna end so poorly. It's gonna end so poorly. You are going to make me put you down, and I'm not looking forward to it. But it was a good game overall. It's theatrical levels of dramatic BS aside. But I signed up to play Arcadia, so that's my own fault. But I did, during the big battle where you guys were sneaking into the place, I got to play my alternate PC, which is the one that was part of the online game. So I got to kind of do a little wrap up with that character. So that was nice. I got to be very brusque and curse a lot, so that was fun. Crafty wise, I've crocheted some dragons.
Aww.
Little baby dragons that kind of lay flat.
They're so cute.
Yeah. Little bebbas. And then I also finished a mermaid blanket, which I haven't made one of these in a while. But basically, it's open in the back to a certain point, and then there's a cocoon, and you basically put your legs in it, and then put the flat part over top of your lap. It's very thick. I'm having a little bit of trouble. Okay, there we go. Instant Mermaid. But I thought maybe somebody might like that at the upcoming fairs, the market days, which I'll talk about dates and such with you later.
It seems super cool, and it kind of reminds me of like I've seen a couple cosplayers in wheelchairs do mermaids.
Yeah.
Ariel and stuff, because it's like, I can't really do anything with my legs anyway, so there we go.
Instant Mermaid. Let's see. I got a new phone, which was part of the reason why I didn't go to the other game this past weekend. I got my fancy new, it's purple. It's a purple phone, and I got a pretty background on it. So it was like the last purple iPhone 12 they had, which is what I wanted, because I was like, it's less expensive than the 13, and it's fine. And that the 13 did not come in purple. So he was like, do you want a 13? I was like, does it come in purple? He was like, no. I was like, no, I want a 12 in purple.
Purple only.
Yes.
Everything.
And that was it was also, we were celebrating my dad's birthday, because we have a lot of March birthdays, so we went to like Outback, which I felt really bad for them actually, because they had like one or two cooks in the back. That was it. But they were compensating by like only filling the booths. Like none of the tables in the middle had people. And I was like, okay, I understand, but man, that's got to be rough on you guys. And then I got a little like a mint chocolate cake. It was like this big. It's for my dad because he likes thin mints. And I've got a new purple pop-up tent for the market days.
Yay!
So it's purple. Awesome. It matches my brand. All I need now are the tent weights, because I could keep using the dumbbells, but they don't look very professional. They do work. And the stretchy tablecloth, the one that'll just, like a fitted sheet, goes over the table. Then I will think I'll be ready. I will be set to go. All I have to do is make sure I have enough stuff that I can sell.
Sounds good.
So with that, now it is time for our discussion topic, which is, as I said before, the Pi Day special. So I have here open. The kind of overview of Pi Day. It's an annual celebration of the mathematical constant pi, observed on March 14th, because 314 is the beginning of pi. It was started in 1988, officially. That's the official first, like, large-scale celebration of Pi Day. Let's see. It was organized by a gentleman named Larry Shaw at the San Francisco Exploratorium, where Shaw worked as a physicist, so he's a physicist, with the staff and public marching around one of its circular spaces, then consuming fruit pies. Which makes sense, because it's pi, circumference. Yeah. And then on March 12th in 2009, a non-binding resolution was passed that recognized the March 14th officially as National Pi Day. So first like official celebration was in 88, but then it was like actually officially made a celebration in 2009. So let's see. In 2010, Google presented a Google Doodle celebrating the holiday. And for the 30th anniversary in 2018, it was celebrated by a Dominique Ansel pie who is a French-American pastry chef in New York. So he invented the cronut, which is the croissant and donut hybrid.
Yes. I'll need to have one.
So that was. It puts on here the pie with the circumference divided by its diameter, which I don't know why they bothered putting that in there, but whatever. It's a silly thing, but I like it. The entire month of March 2014, because it was 3/14/14, was observed as Pi Month. And in the year 2015, March 14th was celebrated as Super Pi Day.
Super Pi.
Yes. So the date written as 3/14/15, and then at the time 9/26/53, that's the first 10 digits of pi. So they were very excited about that. So Pi Day, is observed in many, many ways as one of the newly made celebrations generally is. Um, you know, make up as many traditions as you want when it's new. So, includes eating pie, throwing pies, discussing the significance of the number pi. There's a lot of like pun based pie celebrations. Let's see. Also, oh, that's interesting. Some schools held competitions to see which student can recall pi to the highest number of decimal places.
That sounds about right.
I assume that their prize is a pie.
A slice of pie?
A slice of pie? It doesn't say. But, I assume so. Let me see.
So pulled up just the general history of pies.
Yes.
Nom.
Well, seeing if there's anything else super hilarious.
I think it's probably...
Princeton, New Jersey hosts numerous events in combined celebration of Pi Day and Albert Einstein's birthday, which is also March 14th.
Aha!
So, I think, there's an annual Einstein lookalike contest. I think Einstein would have loved Pi Day.
It used to have pie, okay. Yes. And then we have many, many different kinds of pies, because pie is vaguely described as a baked dish with a pastry dough that may, contain sweet or savory filling.
Yeah, pies used to be savory, I think, to start with, because you basically put your meats and whatever else you had inside the pastry just to, hold it. And then later on, they started putting sweet things in there. Probably around the Tudor era when sugar became much more available, but that's don't quote me on that.
Pie was known as a tartlet.
Mm-hmm.
Tart. Let's see. We have 6000 BC. Historians have recorded the roots of pie vaguely to ancient Egyptians during the Neolithic period. And yeah, that is a rustic freeform pie with oat, wheat, rye, barley, and then they filled it with honey and baked it over hot coals.
Sounds delicious.
I think I might prefer more modern pies. That looks like bakers to the pharaoh incorporated nuts, honey, fruit in bread dough to get a more primitive form of the pastry. About 1304 to 1237 BC. And then this caught on with the Greeks, who are like, this is awesome. Historians believe the Greeks actually originated the pie pastry. This time the pastry was made with flour water paste wrapped around the meat and served to cook the meat in sealing juices. Then Romans, of course, came along and had to embellish upon it, as they do. Wealthy and educated Romans would use various types of meat in every course of the meal, including the dessert course. And they would have oysters, mussels, lamprey, and other meat and fish were normal in Roman pudding. It is thought that the puddings were more like pies.
Yeah. Well, the word pudding historically doesn't mean what it means now. Because pudding used to be almost a few hundred years ago, pudding was almost a bread dish that was, steamed.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, pudding is, pudding is pudding, it's Jell-O, it's wobbly.
Jiggly.
Jiggly.
Yep. And then you're right. We jump to the 16th century,
Mm-hmm.
to 1545, a cookbook from the mid 16th century, and going over cookery and feasts in the Tudor days.
Hey.
Let's see.
Watching all those documentaries has done something, I guess. I have some useless knowledge in my head, but it's okay.
It's fine.
I had a moment the other day where I was looking. I was on Facebook and I got an ad for a lap loom, like a loom to make fabric out of thread, and I was like, you don't need a loom. You've just been watching too many Tudor documentaries. You do not need a loom. Stop. Stop looking at it. uh,
There's a whole section on animated pies. Apparently, the Sing a Song of Sixpence, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie, is referred to. I guess you would put things in pies and
oh yeah, that was a thing actually in Tudor times. They like to play with their food, so they would have fake pies that they would put birds, they would put frogs, and it was just there to like give like the ladies a fright at dinner. So they would serve this pie and then open the lid and like animals would jump out.
rude. No.
Yeah.
13th century tortoise pie.
Poor tortoise.
Tortoise. Not even like mock turtle. Nope, actual tortoise.
No. They put all sorts of stuff into pies. They were like, "Can we wrap this in pastry? Great."
I can't imagine trying to eat a peacock or a swan.
Oh man, peacocks were a thing. Like that was a big status symbol, and what they would do is they would skin it and have the skin whole. They would cook the bird and then redress it in its skin and serve it as like a centerpiece. And I'm like, how did more people not die?
Lord, how did our ancestors survive such insanity?
I don't know. Maybe they had iron stomachs.
Obviously, did not go for the peacock.
Maybe they were like, it's too pretty to eat.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy dressing it back in its own skin.
Yeah, I think they would do that with swans too, is they would literally redress it back in its own feathers and skin. Uncooked feathers and skin, might I add.
Bleh.
Bleh.
My personal opinion is bleh.
Yeah, that was more medieval rather than like Tudor times, but they may have done that too. But I know they did it in the medieval era because they thought it was great fun.
All kinds of fun.
So much fun.
There's a note that the popular saying "few things as American as apple pie," just somehow just bound up in American mythology to the point that in 1902, the New York Times asserted that pie is the food of the heroic, and stated that no pie-eating people can be permanently vanquished.
Sure. I think
pie very seriously.
I think like American is apple pie, that comes from like Johnny Appleseed or something like that. Like, cause he was like an American folk hero. Again, don't quote me on that. It's just the only thing I can think of. Cause I don't know that. Like, I don't know where that correlation came from. It's interesting though, like most of our pies in America are sweet pies. We very rarely have like savory pies, or I should say kind of in the way that, you know, it was. Savory pies are kind of coming back into
When you think of pie, it's not the first thing you think of.
Right. I mean, if you're American, the first thing you think of pie is a dessert.
That being said, I will totally devour turkey or chicken pot pies or
Yeah, and like chicken pot pies, but we like that's a weird kind of connotation. If you just say pie, is a sweet pie, but if you say pot pie, you're like, oh, you mean like a chicken pot pie, which is I never thought of that before. Which is it's just a weird kind of like verbal thing. Yeah, sure, we'll go with verbal thing.
Yeah, apple pie was brought over because there weren't a lot of apples except crab apples here.
Yeah.
Initially, so
Like that's what I mean. Like Johnny Appleseed is supposedly the one who like planted acres of apple trees when there wasn't any in America.
apparently apple pie became a common food in 18th century Delaware, 1700s. I don't care about mock apple pie. Really don't actually like apple pie that much personally.
No, I strangely enough, apple like cooked apples or baked apples, it's a weird texture thing. I don't like them. I don't like the texture of baked apples.
I just apples were just always such a go-to thing for in school or preschool or daycare or whatever to give you a healthy treat. I kind of just hate apples. It just makes me think back to that. But we can easily segue into favorite pies.
That is true. Ah, here it is. I found it. Sorry, I was doing some Googling. So, as American as apple pie originates in the 1800s, but it didn't become widely used until World War II. Because it became common for the soldiers to say "for mom and apple pie" when speaking to journalists about why they had enlisted.
Oh. Okay.
So from then on, the phrase "as American as apple pie" has been used for anything deemed patriotic.
It's a meme.
It's a meme. It's one of the original memes.
Like is it the drawing of the little dude, the top of his head and the hands that were everywhere.
Yeah, Kilroys. They were called Kilroys, I think. Okay. So, my favorite pies are cherry pie, which I don't get super often because you're more likely to find apple, or blueberry is also good, but it's a hard choice between cherry and blueberry, but I think I go for cherry. And then pecan pies. Like, if you're thinking about the like quintessential Thanksgiving kind of dessert, I actually would much rather have a pecan pie than a pumpkin pie, even though pumpkin pies are 20 times easier to make.
Yes, they are. I'm kind of on the opposite. I love me pumpkin pie. It is one of my absolute favorite things. Also, like any kind of refrigerator pie, you cannot go wrong. Like grasshopper pie.
The ones you don't really have to bake. The ones that you put the things in and then you freeze it.
Buy the crust, or you can make the crust if you're hardcore. Good on you. And you just like throw some pudding in there, put it in the fridge. I will devour it. I love, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of apple pie, but I will eat apple pie. Like, if there is pie, I will take care of it.
I went ahead and added blueberry pie to my list because it's delicious.
The grasshopper pie, pecan pie, yep, those pies. Those are all the sweet pies. And then, of course, like pot pies, quiches.
Do quiches really count as pie because you don't have like a crust?
Yep.
Like you don't have a crust over top, you only have a crust under. So does that count as a pie?
According to Wikipedia, it does, which I will accept.
All right, we've decided quiches count as pie.
Like they have calzones counted as pies. I'm like, sure. I mean, yeah, it's like all wrapped up. And
yeah, I guess
that.
so. So I mean, I guess we do have our savory pies. You have calzones.
I'm distracted by corned beef pie because it's also, in addition to Pie Day, almost Thanksgiving. Oh God, no. Patrick's Day. I have corned beef on the brain.
Oh man, corned beef pie just sounds kind of like a heart attack in a pie tin.
I mean, they have Frito pie listed as well for that.
Oh God. There are some pies where I'm just like, I don't know, man. I feel like I can hear the marrow in in my body crying out in anguish with it being like too much.
Of course, there's black bottom pie. I don't know what that. I'm learning about new sweet pies now that I've moved down to the sweet section.
Ooh.
Custard pie, key lime pie. It's my husband's favorite.
Key lime pie, I think, is my husband's favorite pie. Although he really loves apple pie with like a warm apple pie with slightly melted ice cream.
Yep.
Like vanilla ice cream. He will devour that whenever he gets the chance.
Pie, turtle pie. What is sugar pie?
Is turtle pie is the like caramel, right? The chocolate and caramel?
Yeah. Caramel, chocolate, and pecans on top.
Yeah, because turtles are the caramel, chocolate, and pecan little nibble things. Nibble things?
Nibble things.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm still confused about sugar pie. Similar to America's transparent pie. Okay.
Oh.
Transparent pie?
Oh, we should look up weird pies from wartime. I bet sugar pie is one of those weird pies from wartime. God, what was one I was water pie or something like that.
Water pie for the 1930s.
Yeah. Hold on, 1930s pie recipes. Hang on, everybody.
Let's say black bottom pie is just when you use the chocolate pastry.
Yeah, it's like Oreo crumbles.
Let's see, whiskey chocolate chip pie. I made that once.
Oh, there it is. There's the water pie. Delicious Depression era pie recipes. There's 10 of them.
And how many of them do you want to make?
Well, I'm gonna go through the list. So, ready? Buttermilk pie. During lean times, most people had basic ingredients to make buttermilk pie on hand. If they didn't, they would often trade items. Buttermilk was a staple ingredient used in the South, so it was a southern pie. That was also the time when sweet potato pie became a thing instead of pumpkin pie, because pumpkins were hard to come by. Or no, it was actually earlier than that. Sweet potato pies became a thing after Sherman's March, that burned everything from Atlanta to Savannah to the ground, because all the pumpkins had been destroyed, but sweet potatoes were pig food and they were under the ground, so nobody thought to rip them up or burn them, so that's what they had to eat. So Georgians in particular, and this is why I know this, that's when sweet potato pie became a thing. It's because that's what they had to subsist on.
There's a Hawaiian variant, purple sweet potato papai pie, which is made with the purple yam.
Yes, pua, poi. It's a taro root. It's called a taro root.
And then the topping sounds freaking amazing. I want that. My belly.
Let's see. Chess pie was one of the ones. Shoe fly pie.
The molasses one, right?
Yes, because refined sugar was rationed, so people would use honey and molasses. Legend has it that small pools of molasses would form on the top of the cake while it was cooling, making it an appealing spot for fly to land. Thus, shoe fly pie became its name. Oh, ugh. Vinegar pie.
No, that's right there with the buttermilk. Nope.
The thought of a vinegar pie sounds incredibly unappealing, but it speaks volumes about the time period when women were incredibly limited to the items they had on hand to make pie with. Much to my surprise, this pie was so delicious. Tiny bit of tartness that shines through from the cider vinegar. Sure.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Let's see, there's a mock apple pie.
Yeah, it's the Ritz crackers.
Ritz crackers in place of apples as the filling.
Yep.
So, starch. Egg custard pie. I think that I know what custard pie tastes like, and it's pretty good, so I'm okay with custard pie.
Yep.
Sugar cream pie.
Was it our last ATE that we had the pie party?
If it was, I wasn't there. It may have been. I think it was because I wasn't able to go.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we had pies for days.
Yeah. Okay. So the water pie. It doesn't say what it's made with. I can only assume water. All it says is it's a simple no-frills recipe that has a beautiful history of feeding families when times were lean.
I know that I have seen a water pie recipe. Was it one of my YouTubers? Oh, yeah. Emmy Made on YouTube did the water pie. She has a very cute YouTube channel.
Mock pecan pie, which used oats in place of pecans. Sure.
That's what you got. That's what you got.
Yeah. And there's a chocolate fudge pie actually. Let's see. Milton Hershey created meal replacement bars made with chocolate to feed people in the States when they were rationing, and chocolate remained fairly available and affordable. Oh. So and during the Great Depression and when they started rationing out and sending stuff to the troops, we had chocolate apparently. So that was all 10 of
Hershey bars in care packages for the soldiers and first aid.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were a soldier and the first aid team was there, they would give you a care package box that would always include like a Hershey bar, some cigarettes, and some other like crackers and other things, so you could also trade with each other.
Oh,
my grandfather didn't smoke, but he would trade those cigarettes.
You know what those that reminds me of is actually Empire of the Sun. At the very end when he's talking to the kid and is like, do you want a chocolate bar? And like they had those in their care packages. Sorry, that was a really random reference. I haven't seen Empire of the Sun for a very long time, but I remember that part.
I'm like, what is that movie that you're talking about? Like, oh, okay, yeah, World War II. Yeah, they definitely had them.
With I think it was a baby Christian Bale.
Yep.
Yeah, baby Christian Bale played the kid. So that's how long ago that was.
1987 American epic coming-of-age war film. Gone from pie to Empire of the Sun.
Sorry. We told you this was going to be a random one.
I believe we have hit our Forrest Gump limit on pies.
Maybe. Shrimp pie.
Mince pie. Peanut pie. Custard pie. Blackberry pie. Blueberry pie.
So if you have a favorite pie, you can chime in and tell us it by emailing us at geekgirls@gmail.com, or you can also tweet us at geekgirls. So Ray, what are you looking forward to this week?
Quiet weekend. I have nothing planned, and that seems nice. So if By nothing, that means I'll probably have to look into house hunting and realtor hunting and all of that stuff. But it's the idea of maybe a quiet weekend and maybe hopefully finishing that digital art piece so I can do something else.
Yeah.
I haven't done digital art in a while, and I'm just really annoyed that I was getting into the groove. We had a power outage, and I come back to it the next day, and I'm able to work on it for a little bit more, and I hit the wall. Where it's just like, every creative knows the wall, because it's when you look at it and you're like, terrible, this is trash, I should get rid of it all. But you can't. You have to just push through, because the only way you get past it, and I hate it.
Yeah, there's one of the YouTubers I watch is like a crafter, and she's making this. She was making like a pumpkin head like cosplay, quote unquote, and she was looking at it going, "Are you ugly?" And I was just, I have a feeling every crafter hits that point where they're like, "Are you ugly?
Are you an abomination?" You out of your misery.
Nah, it'll be good. Push through. You can do it.
We're gonna push through, and we're gonna watch a bunch more videos on how to do digital. Because college was forever ago. How about you? What are you looking forward to?
Well, we're gonna be celebrating my husband's birthday. It's on Friday. Like I said, we have a lot of March birthdays. Mine's coming up in a few weeks. I'm gonna attempt to finish this crocheted beholder. That's gonna sound so awful. I'm stabbing in its eyes right now. I'm doing it's fine, guys. It's fine. I'm doing the thing with the stuff where I. What is this
where
called?
She has to repeatedly stab it to put the thread in.
Needle felting. I forgot what it was called for a second.
It's not just because she hates beholders.
I don't hate beholders. This one's kind of cute. I gotta needle felt its eyes on. And I also am gonna try and finish up a Cuphead and Mugman, couple of little plushies.
Cute.
Because I think because it's a Netflix show now, that if I make those and take them to MomoCon, they'll find homes. They'll get sold and find homes, maybe. That's the plan, anyway. There was one other thing I was gonna do, but I forgot to write it down, and I think it's gone out of my head, so that's fine. Oh, that's right. My new phone came with the GarageBand app.
Oh, fun.
So I thought I might try my hand at composing again. I haven't composed since I was in college. That was many years ago.
Yes.
So we'll see. It's just like I turned on the phone and I was like, oh, hey, new stuff. Wow, I haven't seen that app in a while. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. For some reason, it just reminded me the thing I am looking forward to is the last Forest of Doors game, which was my very first Boffer LARP.
Oh, yeah.
That is not going to be until June, but because I've had to remake my character, it's in my head, and she's like there and loud and talking to me, and I'm like, back in your box, Abigail. She's like, no, we're doing it right this time. All those things that I didn't get to do, we're doing it now. I'm like, okay, shush, it's one game. All you get.
You and I get to come in together because I can only make the last game as well, because the second to last game is on a Gardens weekend. Yep. So we'll get that all done. Go away! I don't want to do that. Okay, sorry.
Very, very strange because I'm like, I might remember a few people from when she was rescued, and I don't think there's gonna be many people from when she originally was playing.
Breezy came back.
That is true. So I do remember Breezy. I still have her Mr. Greenslime.
Me too. Actually, that's Annalyn stuff. I'm playing the other character, so I don't have it for her, but that'll be fun.
But I did already pull out like her box of memories to go through. Like I emailed them and I'm like, I have my very last character sheet, so I can tell you I was at 255 when I retired, which was not what I needed to be. So if I need to remake it or whatever, I can do that. And I have some tags, but I don't have all the tags. So long ago.
Yes.
It's over a decade. But it'll be nice because it's my first Boffer character. So this will be a way to close the game and hopefully close the book on Abigail and
wrap up that story.
Yep.
And remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgirls on most Monday evenings. The next one will be on March 21st at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. What are we doing next? We are doing Anime BS. We're doing Anime BS next.
Talking about random stuff in anime that sometimes makes it hard to recommend to your friends who aren't in the fandom. So, in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons. You're the greatest girlfriends on the internet. And you can become a patron at www.patreon.com/girls. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub us for free every month on Twitch.
And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. You can check out what topics we're going to be doing in the next month on our schedule below on our Twitch page. And if you're a patron, you can always suggest a topic for us. We'd love to hear any of your ideas. So where can we find you?
Anime BS that you have opinions on.
Yes.
Let us know before, and maybe we'll put it in the episode.
Any ones with so much BS, but you still recommend them. So where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Instagram under DappleDame and on Twitch as Ray. I know maybe I'm just going to take that off, I think.
You can... Ember can be reached at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch, and on the Heresy and Hearsay podcast. And you can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the name madcap_misc, and you can check out my website at madcapm.com. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game. GG. And pie.
All the pie. Hope you have enjoyed this broadcast.
All right. Let us.
Nope. Technically only 4 minutes short.
That's fine.
Easy peasy.